What's going on, everybody? It's your host of the Blessing Thoughts podcast, and I'm here to let you know if you've been thinking about starting your own podcast but don't know where to go, then look no further, because Anchor is a tool for you. Anchor is a free podcast distribution site that allows you to record your podcasts, and you can edit them on the site yourself, and then you can upload them. They'll even help expand your podcast to more platforms just by a click of a button, distribute them to other platforms such as Spotify or Apple. And if you want to make money from podcasting, Anchor helps with that too, by helping you get ads you can promote on your podcast, just like what I'm doing right now. So look no further and go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and start your podcasting journey today. Peace. What is going on, everybody? It is your host, Digital Relaxation, and we are back again with another episode of the Relaxing Thoughts podcast. And this one, the amount of topics is, I don't have much, so it might be short, but I've been known to drag things out when I think things are gonna be short, so we'll see. But this one is gonna be a fairly simple topic. But before we get into that, of course, if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please rate it 5 stars. Help us grow. Share this. Feel free to participate. Ask questions. Contact me on my social media. Digi, I think it's _relaxation. And you can also message me on Anchor as well. And yeah, I'd love to answer any questions or any topics you guys would like to hear me cover. That'd be awesome. So as usual, we started off as for what's been going on with me since the last episode. To be honest, not a lot. I am doing a lot of things. Not a lot of things, but I'm trying to work on like shifting my I guess my whole content around in terms of what it is I want to put on certain things. So I'm kind of like trying to change my YouTube into doing something more heavy. I don't want it to just be simple me just playing a game and uploading it. I think I'll just save that for me when I stream. So I'm gonna start doing something very different. It's gonna be interesting for me to do it, and I hope other people will like it and take to it. So I've been working on that. Same with life stuff. I've been working on things in the background, trying to get things going for myself, and yeah, just praying for the best in that situation. Recently, time we recording this, the Coming to America, the sequel came out, streaming on Amazon Prime. I actually watched it. I wasn't, when I first heard about the idea, I was skeptical. I was like, why? And cause this is when it was just only like announced, so I didn't know what the story gonna be about or nothing before the trailer came out. So I was just like, why and where do we go from this, especially if you're gonna name it Coming to America? So it's like, obviously that means you're gonna have to go to America again, but why? So I wasn't sure. But for those who didn't watch the original Coming to America, it's a comedy love story by Eddie Murphy. I want to say it came out in the 80s, definitely, because of the what you call it, just the environment, the clothing, the music, the people hairstyles. There was that scene where where the whole family was sitting on the couch and they had Jerry curls and stuff, and they like got up and you can see like the stains from like the activator and stuff. I was staying on the couch. So I guess spoiler alert for anyone who has not seen that movie. If you haven't, you definitely should. That movie is a great movie. It has just about almost everything you need in the movie. It's not just strictly comedy. It's not, it don't just focus on one thing. It has a lot of layers. So the original story is we have Prince, believe Akeem, Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy. It was his birthday, and he's a prince in Africa. I believe it may be a fictional place, Zumunda. I don't know. I might be butchering these words or the names. Zamunda. There we go. So it is his birthday, and he's like noticing that he's feeling something is missing from his life. Like he's feeling unwhole. So apparently on the same day of his birthday, he was going to have an arranged marriage with a woman, and his idea of that to begin with wasn't fun. He didn't like the idea of it because he felt like he wants to find someone that he can truly connect with instead of just here's your woman, be happy with them. It was like he really wants to find someone that he can spend the rest of his life with and connect with on a deeper level. So when he finally met his arranged soon to be wife, and she was just basically like a best way to say, like, she was just a slave in a sense to him. Like, she's willing to do anything he says. She lives her life by him. Like, he would ask her what are some things that she likes, and she would just say whatever that he likes, and he's just like, bruh. So he comes up with the idea that he's just gonna go out to the world and see if he can find his queen, and what other place to find your queen would be a place called Queens in New York. So he goes to Queens. He tries to blend in. He wants to live like a commoner, so he don't want to find a woman who just like, hey, I'm a prince, be with me. Like, he wants to find, like, what if I was just a normal dude, would you want to be with me, type thing. So he goes and works a fast food place, and the owner has 2 daughters, which he ends up for one of them. And I mean, for the most part, that's where the story kind of goes. It's just him trying to get with her, and in the end, they eventually get together. So this movie, the sequel, this one is he is now becoming the king. At this point in time, him and his now queen wife have 3 daughters, but they have like a law over there where women aren't supposed to be the rulers of the kingdom once the next king is gone. And he was feeling down that like he wasn't able to produce a son until they find out that he actually had produced a son when he first came to America the last time, before he met his queen. So he basically went to find him, reunited with him, and bring him back to Africa with him, so he can bring him into like becoming a prince, so that when he's gone, he can take over the throne or whatever. And it's honestly just, I don't want to say it's just a copy and paste, but it's almost similar. It's just, this one is just about finding your place, and then it was also about how Prince Hakeem kind of changed from, like, he was a guy in the first movie who would go against the traditions, like the arranged marriage and stuff, and now it's like your daughters, like they trained their whole lives to hope one day that they will rule, since he didn't have no son at the time. They didn't know anything about the son at the time, and he wasn't willing to do it at first. So it's like, why did you have to go through such lengths to find a son when your daughters is right here, who's all they willing and able to do it? So it's a lot of confliction between the family going on of who should be the rightful owner, who should fit in with the kingdom, or should, it's just a lot of finding yourself. So, but I'm surprised, like that movie, I think probably, if we nitpicking, probably like 2 people from the first movie didn't really make it. I don't know the reasons why, but other than that, the fact they pretty much got like the entire cast from the first movie, and even and then of course the new cast for the next generation, that's amazing. Like, I know usually sequels, just leave them, let them be done, but this one, it wasn't bad. This was a sequel I wouldn't mind. Well, I didn't mind. It was pretty good. Everything was done well. It didn't feel like, because I know it was just sent straight to streaming, so people probably think that was some low budget sequel movie cast grab, but it was actually very well made. Yeah, if you guys definitely have Prime, I definitely recommend it, especially if you've seen the first movie. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for me. So yeah, what I really want to talk about in this episode is kind of about but people who, I guess, like chasing their dreams and such, like what it is people go through when they want to chase their dreams and all that. I'm a big believer on that you should strive for more in your life. I don't like the idea that we've been put on this earth just so we can make a cycle. Like, it's crazy when you think about when you're born, and then depending on what route you take, you are in school for what, at max maybe 18 years, possibly 20 years of your life straight, and then you live the rest of your life working, and then you have a kid, you get married, get a kid, and they go on to complete that cycle, and that just sounds terrible. Like, I think you should do more than just that. Like, people should, like, we been blessed with so much in terms of like our knowledge and our imagination. I mean, literally people, especially at this time period now, like the fact that literally people like me and others can say, hey, I want to create a show where I talk to people about things and call it a podcast, and boom, there you go. Here we are now. Podcast is a very thriving thing right now. And some people are building careers off of it. It's like, why should you just stick to the norm of just doing what society has programmed us to do, what our family, because they come from a generation beforehand that probably they didn't know any better about chasing their dreams, or some people, when they did chase their dreams, things didn't go right for them. I personally know from experience of other family members. So they feel like since it didn't go too well, it's like they don't mind you chasing your dream, but now they feel like it's more of a PTSD type thing. Like they know that it can turn bad and what can happen once it turns bad, so they don't want you to put all your chips in one basket. And that's great. I mean, yeah, definitely don't like invest everything into one shot, but at the same time, don't be afraid to invest a little more into your passions and your dream than just getting a regular 9-to-5 job or whatever, or studying in school. Because there's a lot of things that school don't teach you once you are in the real world, and that's the part where you should be striving on yourself and figuring things out on yourself. But then there's the I guess the generation of people who feel like why should you stray away from tradition? I guess like this is what this is what our lives been based on. This is what they don't know nothing more. There's those people who probably never left their neighborhood and only know one thing, and they put that burden on their children to only know one thing instead of encourage them to do more. And then there's also the situation of, depending on your background and stuff, your family members probably try to do the simple route, like, put a ball in his hand while he's a kid and see if he would gravitate to it, and then work on making him a basketball player or a baseball player, whatever sports you're trying to make him a star in, instead of like, like, I don't know, put whatever in his hand, like, especially now in this day and age, put a controller in his hand, see if he enjoys playing video games. Like for me, I gravitated to a video game very easily at a young age. I mean, my first console was the 64. And I always wonder, like, kids today sometimes struggle with like their attention span on playing games now. And it's like, most of the time some of these games are touch screens, like they playing on phones or tablets. The Xbox controller is a very simple design. Like I had to learn on a Nintendo 64 controller. To my knowledge, that's the only controller that was 3-pronged. Like, I don't know what Nintendo was thinking when they did that, but that was the only controller of 3-prong. If I'm not mistaken, that was actually the first controller with an analog stick. So they already was doing something different from the people that came before, that was already gaming beforehand. And if I'm not mistaken, that Z trigger was something unique as well. I mean, usually there was the bumpers, but it was usually bumpers and not so much the trigger. Now that we got the left and right triggers, but they made it a single trigger at that point, so they was very innovative. But they felt like they didn't know how to properly put it all in one controller without sacrificing the space. So they just said, let's make it 3-prong, and now you can hold that controller in like multiple different ways to play a video game, depending on the game. And I picked that up fairly quickly. So like gaming just became second nature to me. But I did go the athlete route early in my life. I was playing basketball and stuff. I joined like leagues and stuff, I enjoyed it, but I never 100% saw myself like doing it. It's a thing, like when you around certain people, you do certain things differently. And I noticed that when, like, either if I'm with myself or a closer friend, I tend to do things completely different from playing basketball. Like, I noticed that I'm more talented at doing this than basketball, or I just enjoy doing something else. And as I got older, I think that's where I started noticing, like, I guess I was feeling like like I mentioned the Coming to America movie, Prince Akeem feeling on the whole in his life. I was feeling like I can do a lot more, but I haven't tried it. So definitely been expanding my horizons and things I can do, from doing art, doing music, editing videos, photos, and now streaming, content creating, writing, and just trying to do a lot. I don't want to just do too many things and now I'm lost, but I just want to see what works and what it is I enjoyed a lot, and then that's where I will push forward to more. So that's where it is for me. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people who deal with like close-minded friends or family members who, like, especially for like the content creators. I know, like, content creators, when they, some of us are starting young and early, and even when you were just doing, like, playing, let's say you just playing video games as a hobby. I mean, I know, like, parents are just like, no, that ain't gonna pay the bills, you need to get you a job. And it's like, if your parent, like, you know, if your parent wasn't, you know, close-minded and just sticking to the status quo, and they knew more about the gaming world and stuff, and that they know about esports and gaming tournaments and content creation, and knowing the potential of where that can get you. There's people that's making, like Ninja, for example, making millions streaming, and I got probably family members who probably never even seen a million working their life. And it's like, we should definitely normalize not only telling your child that it's okay to chase the dream, but also just supporting whatever it is dream they want. Not the dream that you feel they should. Like I said, like, just because you put a basketball in their hand when they was young don't mean that that's what we really want to do. It's just, you know, you put anything in front of us while we're still young, we'll gravitate towards it easily. But as our mind develops, we will start to realize certain things we enjoy more than the other, and maybe that's not it. So we should also, like, oh, I see he enjoys playing video games a lot more, maybe I should invest in some more gaming equipment and stuff, or help him get into gaming tournaments and help him practice. Like, whatever the situation is, it could be anything. Music, I should help, like, invest in some music equipment, help him focus on playing instruments better, or writing lyrics better, whatever the case is. And instead of just like, because usually these are the things that are, they aren't the quick and easy route. Like not everyone is gonna say, hey, I'm gonna put this video up on YouTube, I'm gonna get 1 million subs and thousands or millions of views and likes. And like, no, like, there's times where one of my videos would go high, and next video, sometimes my video just barely crack like 10, because it just depends on what people are interested in at the time. So yeah, they don't, I think what it is that they're afraid of, like I said, knowing that if it goes wrong for their child, they know what it can do to them. And it's like, we need to like prepare them for that and not make them be so afraid of failing. Like, you're gonna run into obstacles, yes, but like, you know, if we don't do what we want to do now, set a long-term goal, then if you don't do what you do in 5 years, then maybe know wherever route you want to go from there. If you want to just say, all right, let's do something else, or like I said, it's nice to have a plan B in motion in the background, so just in case that wasn't working out, you already have something else you can gravitate towards, and that should be that. But yeah, I mean, like, chasing your dreams is something I definitely always like believed in. I even in my music, I mentioned big dreams as like my slogan or my brand name, because that's that's basically what I believe in, and I believe that you should always try to strive for doing more than just living your life in a cycle and putting your kids through cycle. Like, knowing that you are gonna make a child and put them into this world only to repeat what it is you just done. Like, that sounds to me terrible. Like, I mean, everyone has their thing. Maybe that's all right for you guys. I'm not looking down on nobody else or judging anybody else, but me personally, I just knowing that what it is I've been through in my life so far, and then knowing that, oh, if I have a child, like, damn, like, you about to go through some things that I didn't like personally. I don't know how you will like them. It could be even worse, it could be better, who knows, but I don't want you to do only that. I want you to do more. I want you to be striving for more than just normal living. So yeah, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, that is mainly it. Like I said, this was gonna be a short one. I didn't want to ramble. Well, I mean, I didn't have much to ramble on. I didn't want to force multiple topics. I want to keep this nice and clean. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, what are your beliefs on people chasing their dreams, or you chasing your dreams? I mean, has there been times where you've been discouraged on chasing your dreams? Have you given up on chasing your dreams, or have you even not even considered trying? Like, maybe there's something you always wanted to do, but you just been afraid to do it, or for whatever, or insecure about it. Yeah, I mean, definitely love to hear what people got to say about that. I guess you could take that as my question of the day as well. So yeah, it's been another episode of the Relaxing Thoughts podcast. Alright, if this was short for anyone who likes longer episodes, I'll try to make longer ones, especially if I get any more guests. That'd be good. But yeah, see you guys on the next episode. And yeah, have a blessed day, week, month, next time I upload the next episode. See you guys. Peace.